Okay. Hey. Alright. Well, fuck me. I'm not looking forward to this. Nah, not at all. I'm just gonna skip introductions because I just want to hop into the subject today because, oh boy, we got a juicy one. Let me start off by saying, let me make something perfectly clear before I start this whole thing off. I'm not looking forward to the new Akira movie. I'm not. You know, as history has shown, you know, live action adaptations of manga or anime, American adaptations, of course, have just not been very good. You know, stuff like Dragon Ball Evolution serves as a perfect example of why, you know, what not to do in a situation like this. And it makes me wonder, how can stuff like Lord of the Rings get a brilliant adaptation, one of the best cinematic trilogies of all time? That got a good disservice, you know? That was a really good movie. They were all three of them were great movies. Some of my favorite movies of all time, in fact. You know? So, why can't we get Peter Jacksons of anime to do stuff like that? I mean, I guess Guillermo del Toro would be the best option, but I don't know if he'd be willing to do an adaptation, you know? Or whatever. People like that, who take a Japanese subject and or story, manga, anime, whatever, and turn it into a live-action American movie, you know? Something like Agent Tomorrow is a perfect example, I think, of how, yes, we can actually take a manga and, you know, turn it into a live-action American movie and make it good. And not just good, great. I mean, it's so good, it's gonna be on my best movies of the year list if I ever decide to make one, which, you know, I might, you know? I'm sorry if this gets distracting. I'm going to probably be doing a lot of yelling once I get to our main subject, so, you know, got to keep the throat nice and clean, you know? But, with all that being said, enough rambling, what I want to really say was that I wasn't looking to the new live-action Akira movie. But with stuff like Edge of Tomorrow coming out, I had a small glimmer of hope in my mind that maybe, just maybe, we'd get a director with, you know, enough respect or, you know, love, you know, or love for the original, or even maybe just a bare bones just understanding of the story, you know? Maybe, you know, get people like the director of Edge of Tomorrow to do it. That'd be pretty good. But we didn't get that. What we got was Huam. Oh, Huam. You know, in case you don't know who Huam is that's not his full name, by the way. The director of Non-Stop is going to be directing the new live-action Akira movie. And if any of you have seen Non-Stop, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Non-Stop was in my mind, just a mediocre film at best. Liam Neeson was awesome in it, but it's fucking Liam Neeson, you know? You know? And, so that's the guy who's going to be directing the new Akira movie, you know? So I thought, okay, why him? I mean, okay, it's whatever. Maybe he has a respect for the movie. Again, this was all before I saw the interview that I'm going to be talking about in this video. So, as time went on, I just sort of tried to avoid the project altogether. I mean, I was going to go see it, but it was out of obligation purposes alone. Not because I wanted to go see it or because I was looking forward to it, just because I'm more or less obligated at this point to go see it. But man, after this interview, it's going to be fucking hard to watch this movie. Okay, I've been leading this up for too long. I'm going to talk about it right now. So, in a recent interview that Huam did, and I you know, I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing his last name or whatever, or his first name, you know. Actually, you know what? Fuck it. I don't care that I'm mispronouncing his name, okay? If I even am, because this motherfucker said some shit that is so arrogant, so egotistical, that at this point, if this movie flops, I'm not gonna be sad. I'm really not. So in a recent interview, Huam stated that he did not have the greatest feelings towards the original. And that alone was a little bit to tick me off, because I thought, okay, it's whatever. But as the interview went on, it only got worse. Huam then stated, when they asked him about the characters in the story and whatnot, he stated that, and I shit you not, he actually said this, he felt the anime the anime movie, Akira, the original, was too complicated. So what he wants to do with his version is dumb it down for us dumb Americans. That's what he wants to do. Or, in fact, he didn't really want to dumb it down for audience members because he's not really thinking about them. He's thinking about himself. Because he thinks, he's such an egotist, he believes that if he thought it was complicated, then everyone else must have thought it was complicated. Because he wants to do the world a big service in his eyes, even though by dumbing it down and setting it in fucking Manhattan of all places, because, you know, that's not been an overused location for movies at all. He's gonna set it in Manhattan, you know? And on top of that, the dude from Tron Legacy is gonna be the main character. I'll say this. No one gave a shit about Tron Legacy's characters. Nobody. You know? Fucking, yeah, it had a kick-ass soundtrack, it had some really cool effects and whatnot, but that's about it. No one went into it like, no one exited Tron Legacy thinking, wow, those were some really good characters. I mean, Jeff Bridges, yeah, but it's Jeff Bridges, you know, like, come on. That's a pretty obvious big one, but no one left that movie thinking, whoa, those were some deep-ass characters. Wow, I was thrilled. No, everyone left that movie thinking, I want that Daft Punk soundtrack, and I want to watch those light bike scenes again. That's what people left that movie thinking, you know? And that's what it did well. So, the guy who, I can't remember his name, apologies if this isn't the most professional video ever, but the main character in Tron Legacy, no one gave a shit about him. He was boring, you know? And he's gonna be boring here. Now, if the motorcycle scenes in Akira, the newest one, are anything like the light bike scenes in Tron Legacy, then it might have that going for it. But it's not the same director, so probably not. Now, another thing that he said was, he stated that all Japanese characters, or quote, either, I can't remember the last word, but either unoriginal, boring, stupid, something along those lines. All Japanese characters are like that. I can't tell if he's a xenophobe or if he's just the biggest contributor to the America Fuck Yeah fandom, which previously I thought was taken up by Michael Bay, and still is, but he's the reigning fucking champion. If Quam is really that xenophobic about foreign things to the point where he thinks that every Japanese character created was stupid, boring, bland, or unoriginal, whatever the fuck he said, that is bad, people. That is really bad. And so after all this bullshit, it makes me wonder, Quam, if you're listening to this, which I don't think you will, but if by a small chance you are, I got a question. If you didn't like the original, thought it was too complicated, didn't like the characters, and think that flat out every original Japanese character is, again, bland, stupid, boring, unoriginal, whatever, that much, then I got a simple question to ask. Why the fuck are you directing a live-action Akira movie? It's a simple question. Why? Why you, of all people, to direct this movie? Why not someone who had maybe who had an affection for the original, who read the manga, you know, and liked the movie, or even somebody who understood the movie? Because it does not take a fucking rocket genius or a scientist or whomever the fuck to figure out what Akira was about. It is not that difficult of a movie to comprehend, people. You're looking at the guy who bitched about the end of Evangelion, but that was mostly symbolism, okay? That was mostly put up to just your own interpretation, okay? And a movie that had its head so far up its ass that it had to bog itself down with religious symbolism and whatnot. Some of the least subtle symbolism I've ever seen to this date. Akira, maybe not so much, okay? Yes, the original is an anime, and I know that that's not going to be a plus for everybody. I understand that, okay? He also stated he couldn't even finish the movie. He is remaking a movie he did not even finish. Someone will have to tell him how the movie ended on set. Are you fucking kidding me? This guy is an idiot. You're remaking a movie you haven't even finished. Okay? I know someone somewhere along the lines is going to tell you between now and when the movie is made, someone is going to tell you how it ends. Or maybe they won't. But somebody will. Somebody is going to tell you how this movie ends. People often say that with really shitty remakes, that they ask the question, jokingly mostly, did they even see the original? People like, I remember people said that when the Rob Zombie remakes of Halloween came out. They said, did you even watch the originals? And you know, even though those movies sucked dick hard, I at least had the feeling that Rob Zombie had seen the originals, understood the originals, you know? May not have understood them to a point where he thought he could remake them properly, but understood them nonetheless. Wong couldn't even be bothered to do that. So on top of saying, and I repeat, on top of saying that the movie was too complicated for him, and therefore in Wong's mind to everyone, on top of doing that, on top of offending not only anime fans, but just the Japanese people in general by saying that all Japanese original characters are, again, bland, stupid, boring, what the fuck ever the last word of that thing was said, stupid, bland, unboring, original, or unoriginal, that, then he couldn't even be bothered to finish it. Congratulations, Swam! Congratulations! You did it! You have officially turned yourself into the biggest asshat in Hollywood right now. We've had some fucking big ones, people. We've had Michael Bay. We've had Michael fucking Bay. But at least Michael Bay... At least Michael Bay did not say that all Japanese characters were born stupid, bland, unoriginal. At least he didn't say that. He's gone on camera and saying that he didn't have the biggest fondness for the Transformers cartoon or the license, which admittedly has brought up the question, why the fuck are you directing Transformers movies? And it's the same thing here. If you didn't like the original and couldn't even be bothered to finish it, why the fuck are you directing the movie? Because in his words, he wants to put a new spin on the twist. He wants to you know, make it less complicated, make it more digestible. You know? Like, fuck you, Huam. Fuck you. Okay? Go back to directing shitty Liam Neeson action movies that are mostly mediocre, and Liam Neeson puts in an okay performance. Go back to doing that shit, because at least I don't have to be offended at that. At least I don't have to make a video about that. Now I have to sit here in my free time and bitch about your stupid ass. You egotistical, arrogant, fucking jackass, you. You know, it honestly makes me realize there are so many up-and-coming directors right now who probably know a lot more about adaptations or just not being a fucking idiot. Way more than Guam does, you know? Like, I wasn't going to go see it before. I'm definitely not going to go see it now. I know eventually I'm going to have to go see it eventually. I'm just going to try and hold out as much hope as I can that this thing is going to bomb big time, which I think it will. Because even though there's a big fandom for Akira, because the original movie is really good. It's really good. Yes, it's an anime and it's not going to appeal to everybody, but I implore you, even if you don't like anime, please see Akira. Okay? You got to. It's a fucking kick-ass rad movie. Go see it. Yes, the last 10 minutes can be a bit mind-fucky, but it's still awesome regardless. Okay? I can think of people who would love to adapt an anime to you know, make it into a live-action American film. It can be done. Edge of Tomorrow is a perfect example of that. Edge of Tomorrow may not be perfect, but as far as good movies go, it was a good movie. As far as anime adaptations or manga adaptations go, it was great. I think it was the first one in maybe ever that we've had that was made by Hollywood. I think it may be the first one, to be perfectly honest with you. You know? Why can't that happen again? Why can't lightning strike twice, you know? I mean, I guess it's not all bad, because they've announced that Pacific Rim 2 is going to be coming out in 2017, and Guillermo del Toro will be directing it. And in the meantime, they're going to be having an animated series, which, that is fucking awesome. At least it's good to know my efforts weren't in vain, and everyone else's efforts who contributed. That was a good one. I'm really looking forward to that. But in the meantime, I have to wait 3 years for that movie to come out. In the meantime, I have the fucking pleasure of seeing Juan's little masterpiece. Oh, and before I forget, he wants to make 2 more movies. He wants to make a trilogy. Can you not see the idiocy on display here? The motherfucker wants to make a trilogy. Oh boy, you want to make a trilogy, do you, Juan? You want to make a trilogy. Motherfucker, you couldn't even get the first one right, okay? I don't know what this means. I don't know if it's going to be another Hobbit situation where he takes the first movie and uses that as a template for 3 movies, in which case, oh my god, if he actually does that. Or if he's going to do something like he's going to adapt more of the manga, which would make sense. But I'm only going to assume Huam hasn't read that either, because, you know, he probably would read the first page and go, this is too complicated, I can't finish this, I can do it better. Because you know you got a great director working on the project when their attitude in making the movie is, anything you can do, I can do better, anything you can do, I can do more. No, you can't, Huam, you can't! You egotistical, arrogant fucking jackass. Stop saying dumb shit like this, okay? Because it's people like you that give live-action anime adaptations a bad name. That and just sucking on in general. But it's directors like you that are just fucking idiots, okay? I'm okay. I genuinely am okay with a director who may or may not have liked the original. If they at least took the time to finish the fucking movie and maybe just try and at least understand what made the original work. If they at least put that much effort in to making a goddamn movie, then I could at least give them the benefit of the doubt and say, well, at least they can show respect for not just the film, but all Japanese original characters in general. Okay? At least they can do that much. It may not be that good, and it's going to be someone else's vision behind the camera, but at least they showed respect. That much I can be like, okay, whatever. Huam has done none of that. Huam has not only pissed off me, but I hope a lot of other people. Because this movie is gonna fucking blow hard. It's gonna suck balls. Big, floppy, sweaty, fucking balls! It's gonna it's gonna be terrible. You know, I'm gonna be sad that it flops. Because it just goes to show that yet another live-action American anime movie sucks. But you know what's gonna break my heart even more? The fact that the movie itself just isn't very good. That's what's gonna break my heart even more. Because it can be done. But it's people like Huam that can't let it be done. People like him that just pollute the movie industry with shitty-ass reimaginings or remakes or reboots or whatever the fuck he wants to call it, okay? Because it sounds like he wants to turn it into a reboot, even though why the fuck he gives 2 shits about the series, even though before he says he pretty much hates it, couldn't even bother to finish the fucking movie, you know? Why the fuck he even wants to touch it in the first place is beyond me. But it's whatever. I can only imagine what the theme song of the movie is going to be. It's probably going to be a lot of dubstep. You know, drop the bass. Wham, 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 wham. But, with all that being said, I'm the Utter Chaos, saying, hopefully, when Pacific Rim 2 comes out, and the animated series, we can see that it can be done well. With all that being said, guys, I leave on a somber note. But with all that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm the Utter Chaos, and I will see you guys later.